from historic Gyeongju. Unfortunately, I don't know if anyone can actually hear me or not, so that's the disadvantage of streaming right from the get-go. Well, I mean, because I wanted them to hear the sounds and whatnot.
Oh yeah, okay, fair, fair.
But we'll see. Sometimes the sound quality is actually better and more consistent. So today we are doing 15th century finger loop braiding. No, I'm not wearing a historic ensemble in any era. I'm wearing pieces of historic Korean clothing. And part of what we're doing, why we're doing this, is because my sokchima, my petticoat, as we call it in modern English, is the straps have broken, and so we need replacement straps. So we're going to finger loop braid a pair of replacement straps to go onto them. And so first thing we do is we wind our thread, our yarn. In this case, this is technically cotton yarn. I'd have to burn it to really verify that. And this is going to be 5 loops. So I'm just making my 5 loops right now. And if you have any questions, just pop them in. I'm just making sure that I can see everything because, of course, YouTube wants to think for me and just show me some messages, but I want to see everything from you all. So welcome to today's impromptu medieval crafting live stream session. We're here in our Hanok stay in Gyeongju, and it's a gorgeous spring afternoon. And we realized that once we got here that some of my historic Korean clothes need some repairs, namely my silk chima needs new straps. So we're actually going to finger loop braid those straps because we have the materials for that. Whereas we don't have materials to craft with on hand to craft new, well, I guess I could cut into some skirts, but I'm not going to cut into old skirts in order to make the straps for my silk chima. That's just not happening. So normally I would actually, could have spooled this. I'm going to spool it. We've got a table here, actually. And I'll just move the camera around so you can see the table. There's my condottiero, everyone. I'm going to go ahead and use the end of this table to spool this up. Let me know if you can hear me, everyone. And welcome to the live stream. Yeah. So yeah, just let me know if you can hear me. Unfortunately, because of how bright it is, I will have to periodically pause and actually go over and look at the screen because it's almost invisible in this level of light. I guess I could always turn the screen brightness up actually. So to warp thread, as it were, you just wrap it around the end of a table or 2 chairs or something like that, and then you'll have nice even loops. But be careful when you're pulling yarn. You don't want to pull too tight because then some of the loops will be tighter than others and then they'll actually end up being different lengths. So make sure you try to maintain the same tension when you're spooling up your thread for finger loop braiding. If you would like to see a detailed tutorial on this technique, I've done a couple of live streams now on different ones, and I have a properly polished tutorial on the green dorge, or dorga, however it's pronounced in 15th century English.
Dorka.
Yeah, 15th century English is pretty inconsistent in its orthography and pronunciation. It's a transitional period for the English language, so sometimes the only way we can tell how words are pronounced is if there's a poem with some kind of rhyme scheme, and then we can try to figure out what the pronunciation should be. Okay, so here are my loops. And now we have to anchor it. I'm going to be anchoring it to this handy dandy clothesline pole right here. I just need to cut off an anchor for that. And you always want your anchor to be nice and strong. What are you guys making? We are doing finger loop braiding, which is going to make a really pretty kind of narrow wear, sort of like what you could weave with tablets and whatnot, but we are doing this finger loop braiding technique, and these are going to be the straps for my Joseon era Korean petticoat so that it stays up on my shoulders. Yeah, we are from the United States, but we are currently in Gyeongju, South Korea, which is one of our favorite places in the world. Okay, so I've just set up an anchor. I'm now going to tie off to this pole. And here's the thing, for those of you who, what happened?
I dropped the book.
You dropped the book. Okay, well, I'll get there in a minute. For those of you who know, I do lots of finger loop braiding. I've been doing finger loop braiding for 23 years. And there's a braid I've been doing that it turns out is not the way it actually is in the original instructions. So we actually, the braid I've been doing is it creates a braid. It's a perfectly fine braid, but it's not the braid we thought we were making. So we're actually going back and looking at the original instructions again and trying this new technique out. Yeah. Hey, welcome to the channel. Oh, Puyallup? Does that mean are you from Puyallup, Washington? That is actually my condottiero's point of origin, basically, is he's from that part of the world originally. Yeah, so that's pretty funny. Not many people know Puyallup. Definitely going to subscribe. Awesome, thank you. Oh, a tribal member. Super cool. I love it. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not a tribal member.
He's not a
pretty
tribal member.
obviously.
He's very, very, very white. Although right now he's a little red because, like a good white person, he didn't put on sunblock and was out in the sun today. So, okay, let's see. Thin lace of 5 loops, right? Okay, so the thing, it's got this. Wait, we're not doing that one. We're doing the broad lace, right?
No, no. Keep going. Keep going. I'm doing that one. That's what I'm doing.
Oh, you are doing that one. Oh, you're not doing the broad lace. Oh, I just realized we'd been doing just the regular broad lace incorrectly. Well, anyway, for those of you who are interested in our travel adventures here in the historic capital of the Sheila dynasty, check out Travels with the Creative Contessa, my sister channel, because we're doing lots of live streaming from all sorts of amazing historic sites while we're here this weekend. And I promise tomorrow, as of tomorrow, we'll be wearing Joseon era clothing for the full effect. Yeah, but right now we're just got settled in. We just arrived at our Hanok B&B. This is a traditional Korean style bed and breakfast. Beautifully built, very new, but built in the old style. We love staying here, and it makes a really good backdrop for crafting. So yeah, this is Korea. We are in Gyeongju, which is kind of near Busan. Okay, so you're doing that kind. Let me see what's coming out here. Oh yeah, that would definitely make, of course this is super thick yarn, but yeah, that'll make a nice one. Okay, I guess I'll do that one too. Okay, well we're making, for those of you who do finger loop braiding, we are making a thin lace of 5 loops, and it's basically, it creates a flat braid, and these are going to be the straps that will go over my shoulders and hold my silk chima, my petticoat, up underneath of my hanbok. Yeah, okay.
As long as I don't make a mistake.
I've actually never made this one before. So we've got, oh, did I set up enough loops? Oh, it still is 5 loops. Right, okay. Still 5 bows. And I somehow made 6 anyway, so. I'll just drop one. No big deal. We'll just drop that and cut it out later. Okay, so initial setup is, so for those of you who follow, the reason we don't have the 2 cameras, normally when I do finger loop braiding, I actually, I go through you step by step and show you from above and from the side, but this is a very impromptu affair today. So stay tuned for more on Saturday morning, Korea, Japan time, Australia, etc., or Friday evening, Friday middle of the night, other people, other hemispheres, we'll be doing a more in-depth live stream with actual finger looping where we'll walk you through the steps. This is just kind of an impromptu crafting session, so yeah. Do I like cheeseburgers? If they are very awesome, yes. South Korea, there are not many living Americans in North Korea, shall we say? Have I been in other countries? I have traveled the world, and I have lived in many different countries also, not just travel. So yeah, I absolutely love seeing the world. I love experiencing the world. I love learning local handcrafts. It's wherever I am, I love eating the food. I love experiencing the history and the culture. Okay, so we go through and we grab this one, reversed or unreversed? Reversed. First one is reversed.
And then all the rest are unreversed.
Okay, right, okay. That goes up to here. Good. And then this one goes through and that grabs it reversed. And then we end up like that. Okay. Tighten. Great. And then this goes and snatches. Oh, then does this one just swap to the other side? Oh, I grabbed the wrong one. Damn it. Well, that's probably not going to undo itself anyway. Okay, I'm supposed to grab this one. Yeah, okay. Wait, what are we? Oh, I see. Okay. Okay, grab this one, goes to that finger. Okay, great. And then this one comes up here, and this is unreversed.
Correct.
Yeah.
There's only one reverse to tie it together.
Okay. Yeah, well then that's this first one's going to be real messy. Yeah, that's okay.
Not mine. I figured it out.
Ooh, I think there's a dead insect on my finger. Yeah, you figured it out. Fine. And then this one comes right. Then this one comes through. How on earth? Oh. Yeah, I'm just going to start again. Should actually read the instructions. Okay.
Should.
A right goes through loop B on the right to take bow C left unreversed. Okay, bow C. Really?
Okay.
Okay, bow C
So are you at
unreversed.
the
No. What?
I said, are you at the beginning? We
I
could do it
ju-
together.
Okay.
So your setup is like this first, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
So grab the bottom loop reversed
Bottom loop reversed.
to the top finger on your right hand.
Right. Yep.
And then grab unreversed the back string on your middle on B.
Got it. Wait, with what finger?
B on right hand.
Okay.
So
Got
it's
it.
in front of the other loop.
Yep. Got it.
Then put B down to C on the right hand.
On
Unreversed.
C. What?
Yep, on the right hand. B down to C on right hand. Then
Which B?
B left hand
B left hand
to C right hand.
to C right hand. Okay, because
Unreversed.
you said right. Okay. Okay.
Lower A to B on left hand.
Lower A to B on left hand.
Unreversed.
Yeah.
Grab C unreversed
C to
to A left hand.
not through anything else.
Through B
Unreversed.
unreversed.
Okay.
All right. Now
Tighten. Yeah.
grab back B
Back B.
with left B
Okay. To
unreversed to B.
that is correct. Yeah. Okay. Unreversed. Good.
Drop B right hand to C left hand. Unreversed. B right hand or
Yeah.
B right hand to C
Okay.
left hand.
Yeah. Okay.
Unreversed. Lower A to B.
Okay. And then
back
start
at the
again.
beginning.
Okay. So
Reversed.
okay. Walk me through it again.
So A grabs through B right hand to C reverse.
Okay.
Then B right hand grabs through B
Unreversed.
left hand unreversed.
Got it.
Switch B left hand to C right hand
Right.
unreversed.
Got it.
Lower A to B.
Yeah.
A grab through B grabs C right hand unreversed.
Right. Unreversed. Yeah. Okay.
B left hand grabs back B right hand unreversed.
Okay.
C right hand grabs B or C left hand grabs B right hand unreversed,
Okay. And then lower.
and then lower, and you're back at the beginning.
Okay. Great. Okay. So I should go for C first, and that's the only reverse,
That's the
right?
only reversed.
Right. Okay. Right. And then we swap. Right. And then B goes to C left hand or right hand. B.
Yep.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
So you can lower
Right. Lower. And then this time it's all
unreversed.
unreversed. I grab the middle one, right? Grab C.
You grab through B.
Yeah. B grabs B rather.
No.
A grabs B.
A grabs C.
A grabs C.
Yeah, unreversed to pull it back through
Not on B.
because you're not on B right now. If A is free, you've got to be grabbing C
Oh, okay. But
Unreversed.
unreversed.
On your left
On the left hand. Right. Okay.
because you're at this point.
Right.
So
Yeah.
you have
Okay.
to
If I
grab
don't want to
C.
make a tube, you're right. You could make a tube with
You
this.
could make it too.
Okay.
I was thinking.
Right. Okay. And then
So now that you've got
now it goes B to B, right?
B to B, yep.
B to B.
Then right hand B down to C.
Where's my? Yeah. Okay. B to B. Right. Down to C, and then
You're back at
no. Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now you're
Okay.
back at the
And then
beginning.
lower. Yep. Okay.
Do we have any comments during that exchange?
Yeah, okay. Let me, while we were figuring that out, let me see what comments I missed. What on earth have I come across here? You've come across Fingerloop braiding. We are not in Seoul, we are in Gyeongju. We are in the historic capital of the Sheila Empire. Okay, where am I now? Yeah, so we're doing finger loop braiding. This is emergency finger loop braiding, basically.
I dropped a loop.
Oh, well.
I may have
It happens.
killed this one.
Okay, so I don't think my fingers are where they're supposed to be. Hanson?
What step are you on?
I don't know, because I went and checked messages, which was a mistake.
So that, yeah, that probably is where you're at.
Yeah.
B right hand to C left hand. No, B right hand to C left. Well, you're on B and C.
Yeah,
It
that's
should be on A and B.
yeah. Well, my strap's going to be all kinds of messed up. It was looking good though. I did have something good. Looked like it was going to turn out well. Okay. Oh, I think I already did this. Right, that should be on A and B, shouldn't it?
Yeah, it should be on A and B.
Yeah, I think I just keep driving it down for some reason. Okay.
You did that on the other one.
Yeah, I know. I don't know why. It's old habits dying hard. Okay, what's next?
Nope. What are you doing? So if you're at that point, you must have to do B right hand to C left hand. Unreversed.
Okay.
Lower.
Yeah.
And now you're at the beginning.
Okay. Nope, I'm pretty certain that's where I was before. Okay. Now, yeah, that's where I was. Okay. Now I do the swap across, right?
Yep.
Okay. Swap across like this. Great.
And
And
you
then
have
this
to
one
redo
comes.
these.
This one comes down here, right? To here.
Yep.
Okay. And then this one lowers, and now I grab C unreversed, right?
Correct.
Yeah, C unreversed. Great. Grab across. Grab B. Grab B unreversed, right?
Yep.
Grab B for a 2-loop effect. And then this comes across to C, right?
Yep.
B to C. This lowers down. And then I'm on the other side now, right?
Right. So this
Okay.
time it should be reversed. From your right hand, it's reversed when you grab C through A.
Oh, I'm pretty certain I've been doing it the other way.
Not if you've been following my direction. Shit, now I forgot where I was at.
Whatever cheeky boy. Okay. Right.
You talked to me now. I don't know where I was.
And now you don't know where you were. That's it. Blame me. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Now this is unreversed, right? And then swap across. And then this goes over to here, and this goes over to there. And then this is from the beginning, so that is reversed.
Yep.
This is unreversed. This comes across. Right? Yeah, B to C.
Yeah, once you get these down,
Right, B to C, and
flows.
then lower, and then this comes up. Tighten. This comes across. Yay. This goes down here. Yay. And now we're at the beginning, I think. Well, we'll find out. We'll see what happens to this this thing after I've been trying to do a live stream, monitor the chat, and learn a completely new braid. Yeah, so this is the unreversed side. Yeah. Right, this goes to there, this goes to there.
That's
This
why
is
I
the
thought
reverse side.
only one of us should be doing it.
Yeah, but I wanted to finger loop braid, not just chat. I like chatting too, but okay. Unreversed. I don't know how that keeps happening, that I keep ending up. I think my fingers are doing weird things.
Dropping the.
No, I keep trying to migrate things off of fingers when that shouldn't be happening at all.
That's what I meant by dropping, migrating down when you shouldn't be migrating down.
Oh, I know what's happening. I see.
Itchy nose.
I see. I see what's happening. Bad boy, no biscuit. Stop that.
Who, me?
No.
Oh.
I know what. I keep swapping loops instead of I keep swapping loops instead of doing the thing I should be doing.
You'll have invented a whole new braid.
Yeah,
and we won't know
basically.
how to repeat it.
Nope, I'm pretty certain I'm not going to know what to do with this. Is this ever a spot where this is correct?
Yeah, no, if that's where you're at, more than likely you should be dropping B to C and then
Right,
A to
right,
B.
right. Okay. And then this is unreversed. Yeah, okay. Then we swap.
Unless, of course, you'd already done it.
Well, who knows,
Who knows?
really. Okay,
I think
yeah.
there's actually like 3 points where it could be that.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Unreversed. Pull across. Right, this comes down. This is reversed. Okay. Yeah, no, don't swap. Just pull from the back, Rachel. You can do it. When you have so many braids memorized in your fingers, then you eventually start getting them mixed up if you fall into a Zen place.
Been there.
Yeah. But I think I've got it now. We'll see. The beginning is going to be interesting.
Yeah, when you get to the first step is when you should check the thing. So you're like, I know exactly where I'm at.
Yeah.
First step.
Yeah. Okay, this goes across. This goes here. No, it does not go there. Darn it. Okay, well, I'm going to check the chat again. My Fingerloop braid is coming out real super creative. Hello, everyone. How long are you hoping it turns out? So I think it should probably, usually you lose about a fifth of your length. So this is kind of a rough estimate. If you're making loops for Fingerloop braiding and you want a certain length, then usually I try to calculate at least a fifth, sometimes a fourth more, 20 to 25% more length of loops than the length you want. That varies a little bit from braid to braid, but generally that is the rule. Okay. No. Oh, I see what I keep doing. Ah, you stupid fingers! I hate you so much. Why are you like this? So yeah, I'm hoping that this one will be basically from about this point to the same point on my back, about 15 to 20 inches ish, is what we're hoping for. We'll see if that works out.
And if not, this was a good first practice.
Yeah, if not, it was a good first practice, and you all got to see me flop through the learning process, which you don't always get to see. Of course, this isn't exactly a genuine learning process because I'm trying to monitor the chat over there, answer questions, and keep track of my spot. So it's a little bit, excuses. You hush, sir. Let's see, we just dropped the loop. Yeah, but that's okay. This is going to be hidden because this is an undergarment, so I'm not really terribly concerned about that aspect of it.
Oof.
Right, I'm just going to think that that's where I was and go with that. Pretty certain that's not where I was when I dropped that loop, but that's okay. Oh, yeah, that's what I keep doing. Yep, stupid fingers trying to help me, quote unquote. Okay, here we go. I'm not going to look at the chat again until I get to a spot where it actually makes sense for me to stop and look at the chat.
Always at step one.
Okay, yeah, always at step one. Okay, I'm going to go check the chat out now. How the man managed to wear black glasses with done high work. Nice. With complex work. Yeah, thank you. Also, if you're in India, awesome. Welcome. I'm in Gyeongju, South Korea right now. So it's awesome to have such wide coverage of the globe, actually. This is my preferred audience, as international as possible. Okay, yeah, I think I've figured it out. Yeah, I am checking the chat, guys. I just need an occasional, like I need to find a spot that makes sense so that this braid actually turns into something vaguely useful, and it's actually starting to come out better. And actually, the advantage of not doing different colors, the
Every time
advantage
you-
of not doing different colors is that you really, it's much harder to spot the flaws in a braid when it's all one color. So think about that if you're choosing colors for your braids. Maybe don't. Choose a color singular. I mean, I always say that, you know, flaws or little quote unquote imperfections are really just a chance for character anyway, but you know, still.
Proof that it was handmade.
Proof that it was handmade, right? You know, I don't know about you, but there's a tendency that if something handmade is too perfect, people assume actually that it was in fact not handmade and that it was machine made. And I do have a friend, the person who taught me to fingerloop braid 23 years ago, yeah, made his braids were so perfect that they really did look like machine made shoelaces. and and his wife commented, she's like, well, what's the point if it just looks like something that came off of a machine? And I mean, you know, there is something to be said for that. Ah, yeah, now we're getting into it. Okay, got the rhythm in my bones or my muscles, as it were.
Bone strength.
Yeah, bone strength. Right. Okay. That one up. This one across. This one down. This one down. This one up. Oh, that's my ring finger kept reaching for it. Naughty ring finger. God,
You're so cute.
seriously.
Yes, seriously. You're so cute.
Okay, here we go. Oh, this one will make for a good quick tutorial. This one will also make for a good introduction to double loop management, because there are a bunch of braids that actually require 2 loops on fingers, and that can be, you may imagine, a bit of a trick to manage two loops on one finger, 2 bows on one finger, as they call them. So this would be a good simple way to start off with that process before getting into the 7 bow broad lace, which requires 2 loop management. Yeah. Yeah, I can definitely see how this could be a good intermediate braid for teaching that basic technique.
Yeah. No, and once you got the pattern down, this one
Yeah, it's
is really simple. It's just getting that initial pattern down.
right. And
Can be a little bit mind.
while being distracted by, there's also we're in a neighborhood that, you know, has some pretty expensive Hanok in it, and so there's a risk of sometimes drunk partiers coming through here on their way back from the city, and so there's this automatic voice that comes on when people walk by this spot over there, but including cars, that basically says in Korean, please keep quiet, this is a neighborhood with residents, and please mind your tone. And it keeps going off because someone keeps going past it, and I think cats and dogs are also setting it off.
Well,
So
those cats and dogs, they really need to pay attention to that.
well, that's actually true, those cats and dogs are pretty raucous.
I think it also says you're being videoed.
Oh yeah, I think it also there's a bunch of warnings. It also says cameras are watching. Keep that in mind if you decide to do something bad, naughty, or otherwise illegal.
Or stupid.
Or stupid.
You will show up on
We
YouTube.
will find you. Korean facial recognition software is super good.
What are you doing, Ryan? Can't drop it at this stage. Got this. Yep.
Yeah, okay. Finally getting the rhythm down. Yay. Oh, pride cometh before the fall. Oh, sweet hubris. How the gods shall strike me down for my presumption. And eventually, with most finger loop braids, once you start getting the hang of one, you develop little efficiencies, like ways of sort of making 2 steps into one, and then you make mistakes like I just did.
Done.
Yeah.
There's your hubris right
There,
there.
see, I knew it. I knew.
There's your punishment.
There's my punishment for suggesting that I'd actually gotten this down. Ugh. Disgusting. How dare I?
How dare you?
Yeah, so I might have spots that are tube-like on mine.
They have little little funky
spots where I've
indentations.
connected it. Yeah. Yep, for certain. So with finger loop braiding, what you have to remember is that it's a question of you're not just braiding. It's like you're connecting, you're doing things on two different sides of your hand, and there are points at which you will either connect that or not connect that work, right? And oh, wait, what did I do? Or not, yeah, I know, right? Or not connect that work. And those little connection points are what will bring the two sides that you're working with your hands together at a very specific point in time. So, you know, sometimes I think a lot of these braids developed accidentally by things like what I'm doing, a consistent set of mistakes. And so you can actually create, in some cases, a whole new braid just by putting an extra reversed bow in where there shouldn't be a reversal, or vice versa, actually. Okay, get to a spot, and then I will once more examine the chat for comments and questions. Okay, checking chat. I've never been able to get my fingers to manage the 7-strand. Yeah, it's there's a two-person, basically what is a two-person, like each person has 7 strands. It makes a super broad lace. Ah, thank you for that compliment, Aranea. Lovely. Okay, so back at the beginning, and here we go from the top, basically. You know, once you really get the pattern down, this can become a very, very relaxing Zen-like experience. I could totally, especially with all these beautiful nature sounds all around me, I could definitely see just sitting out here and enjoying the not quiet of nature, actually, I guess.
Nature, yeah. Definitely very not quiet.
It is funny, people often talk, oh, cities are so loud, and I look at them and I say, you've never actually been in the country, have you? It's a different kind of not quiet. Yeah.
Look how far down I've been able to go.
Have you hit your maximum?
Almost.
Yeah, so with finger loop braiding, there's a point at which you just can't get your fingers in the bows anymore. Remember, in the 15th century jargon, the parlance of the 15th century, these aren't called loops, they are called bows.
Yeah, I may have been doing it too tight. Oh, I tied it together right there. No. Oh, how did I do that?
It happens.
Yeah, there's that place where I dropped the thing. Oh, but I did a pretty good job of the rest of it.
Yeah, well,
I only accidentally tied it in one spot at the very end.
Yours will be much broader than mine will be. Oh, and this is where I was checking the chat, and that's where I was deleting some jerk's disgusting comment. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Etc. Oh yeah, well, thankfully YouTube seems to have been hiding most of them. I've probably unfortunately missed some of them because I'm not really scrolling back very far, but that's okay. You can take over the monitoring of the chat now. Let me tell you, moderating the chats in my live streams can sometimes be an enraging process.
Yeah, people are shits.
Yeah, people can be shits.
Well, that must have been a mistake.
Excuse my language.
Too.
Okay. Do you want to show them?
I definitely made a mistake right there.
Well, still, we can.
No,
a lot. So often these so-called mistakes can just be kind of ironed out because the finger loop braids are actually pretty flexible.
It's hard to see it. Oh, this message is held for review.
That's lovely.
The meanest hand job in existence. Okay, so that is kind of funny, even though I'm dirty.
I mean, that could be a thing, I guess.
Oh, hi, Takeda. Nice to see you again.
Who's on, Hanson?
Takeda.
Oh, yeah, Takeda is on. Yeah. There might be some spots where I've repeated a step a couple of times also. Oh wow, and now
Yeah,
it's
let's see.
repeating in Mandarin the warnings.
Okay, how long would you say this actually is at this point?
That is about 20 inches long. Yeah, 20 inches. Yeah. Yep, that's actually that
That
should be
might
long
actually
enough.
work.
I think it should be long enough. Oh no, you distracted me.
Sorry.
Damn it. Well, I think I know where I was. We'll find out.
Oh, and you dropped it into this dirt. My yarn.
Your super expensive Goodwill yarn?
My cabbages.
Your cabbages. Oh gosh. So yeah, we actually shop for a lot of our raw materials at secondhand stores because there is an alarming amount of crafting supplies that end up unloved and unwanted at local craft store of your choosing or local thrift store of your choosing. And I'm definitely all for using what's already out there instead of contributing to production of materials, new materials, when the materials already exist, actually.
Yeah, hello from Russia.
Oh, hello from Russia? Nice.
Yeah, I think you missed that one from.
Oh, I did. Totally. Hello. I'm
Hi.
sorry from Russia. I didn't see the comment. I apologize.
No new comments at the moment.
Okay, great. Yeah,
But,
this is coming along nicely. Yeah. Cross. Yeah, you're right. This goes super fast once you've got the rhythm down.
And you definitely could make a tube, because you did.
Yeah, I did. I told you I did. I did say that, did I not?
You did. Did you use the end of the table for that?
I did. I did warp on the end of the table. Wait, before I do something weird here. Nope, other way. This way.
You want me to make another one?
Maybe?
Well, now that I've got it, it's pretty quick.
Pretty certain I just missed a step there. You were talking to me again, sir. I'm not at the talking stage of my mastery of this technique yet. Clearly, I'm not at the stage of mastery where I can just casually chat yet. But I promise that with any finger loop braid pattern, eventually you will get good enough that you can, in fact, just chat casually. I'm almost there, but not quite. I don't know if you all can hear the roosters. For those of you who aren't from the country, contrary to popular belief, roosters do not only crow at dawn. They crow whenever the hell they please. And I think if there are other roosters, they crow more frequently just to kind of make sure that everyone knows that this is their territory. So, yeah. Okay. Hanson, you want to go check the live chat for me?
Make this knot.
Yeah, here we go.
Nope, still the message that's held for review. Let me switch the things back and forth just in case. Now that I know that it occasionally.
Yeah, just so you know, sometimes the chat, I don't know why, it gets caught up like a traffic jam, basically. And so you may have left us messages that are perfectly lovely and we would love to see them, and they don't show up for 5 or 10 minutes. Because, you know, why should technology make our lives easier if it can just make it as mysterious and complicated as possible?
Nice thing about the yarn is it rarely comes untied.
Yeah, the good thing, that is true, the good thing about cotton especially is that unlike silk, it doesn't come untied very often or ever even. Whereas silk thread and silk yarn will absolutely do that constantly.
And it makes me wroth.
And it makes us wroth to utilize a very beautiful 15th century term.
Still no new comments. Tough.
Wow, more Mandarin. I don't know if you all can hear the Mandarin tinkling in the tinkling in the background. It's lovely that I'm not certain if the camera is assuming that's the language of the person walking by, or if it's just, you know, going through a random rotation of the major tourist languages.
I never hear English, interestingly.
That is actually an interesting point. Yeah, mine's gonna be real interesting.
Well, it makes me want to look at one of the other ones and see if it actually is a tube. If you do the change.
Yeah, so a lot of these braid patterns, someone figured out at some point that, you know, if you just change one reverse to an unreverse or vice versa, you get basically a new shape to the braid. And so you know, through basically the same techniques, you can get multiple different shapes and patterns.
Hi, Triple X.
Hello, Triple X. Welcome to our impromptu medieval crafting session. Thank you for joining us today. And as always, everyone, if you are enjoying this, please hit that thumbs up and subscribe. My channel is full of content like this: medieval sewing and crafting and getting dressed and dance and all the things, basically. In fact, we just did a whole bunch of live streams this last weekend and week, reconstructing a 15th century dance.
Never held for review one.
Yeah, well. And yeah, we're very happy with the outcome of that dance. If you didn't catch those live streams and you'd like to see what making a medieval dance means from a medieval manuscript, interpreting written instructions from 700, 600 years ago, you can go ahead and check that out. I'm confident it is now for certain available under the live stream section of the channel from the recordings. Let's see. And I can tell that my Fingerloop braiding fingers aren't as calloused as they once were. I definitely, I can feel some blisters forming, shall we say. I think I just reversed that. Oh well. It can be really hard to convince muscle memory not to do, especially on these 5-loop braids. There's a 5-bow braid we've been doing for decades at this point that has reverses all over the place, and my fingers are desperately trying to resume the joy of that reversal process, I guess. So for those who are just getting into finger loop braiding, the thing you want to remember is that your thumbs are your friends. You can actually use your thumbs to widen the loops, and I'll show you what I mean here in a moment, to make it easier to actually, oh damn it, I just kept going. Okay, I'm gonna wait. I'll get to the beginning of the pattern and then I'll show you, I promise.
Good morning.
Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening from Gyeongju in South Korea. Okay, so I'll show you what I mean by thumbs being your best friends here. Okay, so you can try to stick your finger through a loop without using your thumb to widen it, but if you use your thumb, you can actually use the thumb to widen the loop, and then your finger has complete clearance to grab something else. What was I going to grab here? Right, so in this case, I'm going to grab the bottom loop and reverse it, right? And see, using my thumb to do that, I've got plenty of clearance to pull that loop through without it getting tangled in other loops, other bows, as they were called in the 15th century. It's funny how much language has changed since the 15th century. And technically 15th century English is just early modern English, not even Middle English like most people think it is. Right. Well, at least we learned a new braid.
I definitely did.
Oh, stop being so smarmy, sir. No one asked you. I may have invented a new braid, so yeah, who's better here, huh? The person who just follows instructions like a conformist, or the person who forges ahead, tangles herself in knots in this search of invention? Just humor me here, okay?
Yeah, if they could see, they can see that now that we understand the braid, now that I'm working on the second one, it's going by so much quicker than the first one.
We are going to do a live stream here shortly where we actually show you, we will interpret from the original manuscript, not the translation, not someone else's interpretation. So what we're actually working from here is someone else's interpretation of the 15th century manuscript directions, instructions for these braids. So we're going to, I think our next step is to definitely show the reconstruction process on a braid we haven't done before. So we'll be working from nothing, no prior knowledge. And you'll get to go through the agony and the ecstasy of probably just us getting really tangled at first, I'm assuming is probably what's going to happen.
Oh, and part of the problem will be like in this braid, if you only read the original instructions, it's missing a step.
Right.
It's an obvious step if you know what you're doing.
Yeah, so exactly. This braid was missing, is actually technically missing an instruction. Once you start reconstructing, you kind of can figure that out. The same thing happens with dance all the time, right? This last dance we just reconstructed, there was a set of instructions that were absolutely wrong. And that can happen easily when scribes are copying someone else's notes. They lose focus. They write down the wrong thing, just like happens now, except that apparently in the 15th century, there were copy editors yet or proofreaders, from what we can tell. Zero. In fact, I'm not certain. It seems like they were against, they felt that it was a violation of their creativity to dare to conform to one spelling for one word in the same paragraph. So yeah, it happens with dance when you're interpreting the original instructions and you're going along. Sometimes you have to stop and say, wait a minute, that actually doesn't work for the human body. And then decide what is either missing or incorrect. So yeah, anytime you're interpreting a historical source, especially if you only have one source for that activity, so you can't compare it against some other set of instructions, for instance, then you start having to get a little more creative in figuring out what's missing. Okay, well, it's not as bad as I thought it would be, actually. There's only one little tiny spot. Actually, look, there's only one little tube area.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Look. Oh.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I didn't need to make this one?
No, but you're having fun. So here, let me see if I can show you what has resulted here. Now, a lot of times these have a severe bend in them because of the part that connects is actually this reverse thing, and it literally kind of makes a spiraling link down the center of the braid. And so at first the braid's going to try to fold in on itself, and I'll show you what that means here. But you can easily take an iron, or even if you have a medieval stone polisher smoother, then you can just iron it out. See, you can see that it's trying to fold in on itself like a taco, right? But that's okay. You just take your fingers and you run it like this against that, and eventually it will just kind of work itself out. And if you are still offended by how much it's bending, then you can just iron it out. And this is cotton, so you can use the highest heat. If you're doing silk, then obviously use a lower heat. If you're using a medieval iron, well, Godspeed, because there is no heat setting there. You just have to know how hot it is and control things like moisture, and maybe use a different cloth on top appropriately. Have any of you ever used either a Victorian style iron or even an older one that's literally just heated in a fire until it's very, very hot? Yeah, I plan on playing with some of that too, although I anticipate there's going to be some scarring that will happen as a result. Yeah. This is not a Hanok village. This is a Hanok complex, actually. So actually, I'll go ahead and show you guys. If you like, I'm going to reverse it. Okay. Nope, that's reverse. Why did it do that? Okay, there we go. Yeah. Okay, so you can see this is one property. There's the gatehouse. And that there is actually a Hanok that you can rent. It's got 2 bedrooms and a bathroom and a kitchen and a nice great room. We've run medieval events on this exact site, actually. And they've got this beautiful garden here. And, these are rooms in various sizes. That one behind those beautiful, oh, I just fell between the ties. That one with the beautiful glass doors is actually like a family room. It's room for 6 people. It's a nice big room. I keep trying to get that, but it's always booked out. Over there is actually a communal dining area, and this is where they serve breakfast, and I can show you what that's like. And this is basically at the edge of historic Gyeongju. Right. So this is the breakfast room. right? It's got a combination of modern and historical. We've got these beautiful carved wood tables, and then of course modern tableware and whatnot. But yeah, this is basically, and this is not expensive. This was like $59 a night, including everything, taxes, fees, whatever. It's got these beautiful little gardens, and out behind are still some rice paddies, although I don't know how long there will still be rice paddies here. That's literally a dying art because no one wants to do it anymore. So yeah, this is where we are. Yeah, definitely in Korea, traditional Korean homes, especially from the Joseon era, are very minimalist. The Joseon era was all about Neo-Confucianism, which is very much culture of modesty and simplicity, and sort of very clean spaces. Which is the polar opposite of many Western ideas, of historical ideas, even of interior decor. So at nighttime here, I anticipate that we're going to have quite an interesting chorus of frogs all looking for their mates in the loudest manner possible. Yeah, but we love this place. This is our home away from home, as it were. In fact, we come here so often. Let me show you how we checked in. This is our room over here. You can actually see what these rooms look like. Our clothes have been hung up and whatnot, so it's not as minimalist as was, but you can see this is what was waiting for us when we walked in. I come here this often that they just leave me a note on the door. But this is our bedchamber, and I just love the ceilings in here. And yes, we have traditional Korean poryo, floor mattresses with ibel, right? And as you can see, my condotiero's hanbok there, that's a cholik and a keja, and then a jangot over top of it. Yeah, my stuff is in the box under there, all still folded up nice and neatly. So yeah, this is a Hanok stay, for $50 roughly a night US. It's a super good deal. I can stay in a regular hotel pretty much anywhere in the world if I want to. Whenever I'm in countries, I try to stay in what is ever the most historic and traditional lodgings possible. It's not always feasible, but in Korea, there's more and more of these Hanok stays, right? And we're going to be doing, on travels with the Contessa, we're going to be doing a lot of, I just love these little gates that communicate the courtyards. So this is part of a two-part complex. Like both of these are connected. So you can rent rooms in either of these two properties here. Just so lovely. And you'll see they're very, very similar, right? So yeah, we will be doing tours all week. Sorry, it's not the weekend, middle of the week. We will be doing all sorts of live stream tours of various parts of historic Gyeongju. We're going to go to the Gyeongju National Museum. So some of them will be on this channel and some of them will be on my Travels with the Contessa channel. Let me show you what Condotiero is doing, actually. No, stop it, bad camera, no biscuit. Okay. Yeah, see, he's already most of the way through his second braid. So you can really get a look at how quickly it goes. Right. So let's see if I can show you from above. Yeah, so it's could you slow it down and demonstrate from above once you get back to the beginning?
This is the beginning. So you start with 4 strands on one hand, 1 strand on your right hand. You reach through, reverse the bottom one to the top, tighten. Then you're going to reach through and pull the loop across
on B,
and then exchange C, lower A, unreverse back through. Don't let your loops get back together.
Yeah, we discourage the fraternization of loops.
Yeah. Exchange, lower,
and then you're back to the beginning.
Back to the beginning.
Yep.
And then once you get really good at it, it's like and I'm back at the beginning.
Nice. Fantastic.
Couple of seconds.
Yeah. So yeah, let me just scran back through the chats. Hello, ST420, welcome. Traditional houses in the right. Okay, that birthday is May 15th. It's 2 days until my birthday. Well, I'm not going to wish you a happy birthday in advance because actually in Germany, and I lived a lot of my life in Germany, that's bad luck. we we wish you your birthday on or after the day, not before.
It's after the
My
last
favorite
one.
my favorite period is French pre-revolutionary Rococo. It's so glamorous and kind of gives deja vu. Also bases Asian architecture but westernized and French. Yeah, no, true. Yeah, Rococo is definitely a very dense, decorative, and artistic style. Wie heißt die Fläche? Fingerschlauchweben auf Deutsch. Name-Info heißt das. Im Englischen Fingerloop Braiding. Im 15. Jahrhundert auf Englisch hieß es damals The Making of Laces. Is what it, ja. So, ja, gerne. Ja, Fingerschlauchweben. Oder ja, Weben oder auch Flechten. Flechten. Ja, Fingerschlauchflechten. Bye, Chile Rojo. Oh, Chile Rojo. Sorry, I was trying to read your name like a Korean. Chile Rojo. Adiós. Hasta la vista. Ojalá que nos veamos. Ja, so ja, Fingerschlauch fechten oder auch weben, beziehungsweise weben, wie man möchte. Kann man die beide. Yeah. And this is a technique, this kind of braid you see all over the world. And I mean that, all over the world for thousands of years. This is a technique that is evidenced in Japan and Korea from the 15th century also. I have a fantastic painting of a woman in Japan with her beautiful, super long hair, finger loop braiding. And we have extant pieces in Korea that have survived. And we've got bits and bobs of what is most likely finger loop braiding from, from 3rd, 4th, 5th century, maybe even older BC. Some of them found in the Hallstatt salt mines in Austria. So yeah, this dates back real far. So
Hurry and finish this
yeah,
because you're hungry.
No, I'm fine now. I had some flackers. I'm good.
Oh.
Okay. So yeah, if you're interested in following our travel adventures and exploring more beautiful sites like this, especially specifically historic ones, we're here in Gyeongju, which was the capital of the Shilla dynasty, and we'll be hitting sites all weekend. Some of the tours, like the museum tour, is probably going to be on this channel, but the more travel related stuff, the walking around and exploring the sites, is probably going to happen on my Travels with the Creative Contessa channel.
So if you're not subscribed.
So if you're not subscribed, check that out. Okay, everyone. Well, I appreciate you joining us today. If you've been enjoying, do hit that thumbs up. I know, I hate having to say it, but there it is. And subscribe.
If you're interested in just walking videos for while you're exercising.
Yeah, I also have a walking with the Contessa channel. If you just like walking and seeing the places where I take long walks.
We need 50 subscribers so we can do the live streams.
I can't do live streams from that channel yet, though. It's too new. Okay, final chat. I'm kind of shocked at how most Rococo paintings, especially portraits of women, I don't see them wear a robe à la française. I thought that was the most common attire from the wealthy. Okay, so my quick lesson on art for fashion interpretation. Remember that art fulfilled a very specific purpose, and it wasn't always to depict reality. It was rarely to depict reality. It was rarely to show what people actually did, how they actually dressed, what they actually wore. So you really have to start looking in inventories and household accounts and reading chronicles and reading what travelers are writing about the horrible, salacious things women in such and such or men in such and such a court are wearing, right? Art is only one of a three-prong approach to historical fashion interpretation. You need depictions are great, archaeological remains as in actual garments, and then your documentary evidence, which is going to be, like I said, household accounts, inventories, travel logs, is going to be chroniclers writing about scandals at court. It's going to be preachers writing their sermons about the horrors of sinful fashion. So yeah, unfortunately, you cannot really rely on art to tell you what was common or even necessarily how garments actually looked, because art nearly always had some kind of purpose, whether it was political or allegorical or metaphorical or religious, doesn't matter. The main purpose of art has almost never been to depict things how they actually are. Yeah. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Pantelis Greek. I appreciate that. Oh, looks like such a beautiful day for a beautiful girl. Well, thank you. It is a very beautiful day here. Okay.
Gorgeous.
Well, everyone, please do subscribe and hit that like button if you'd like to continue catching more of my content. Check out Travels with the Creative Contessa because I'm going to be doing a lot more live streaming from there than from this channel over the next couple of days in this amazingly beautiful place. Otherwise, we're actually going to get going and go and seek out some dinner. So everyone, I really appreciate you joining today. Thank you all. If you have questions and I didn't get to them in the live chat, pop them in the comments and I will answer them. I always answer my questions in the comments. I really appreciate you all. Have a wonderful day. Oh, thank you. Yeah, these sunglasses, these are hand-carved lacquerware with mother of pearl inlay. They're made by a glasses artisan in Sadong in Seoul. Like he literally hand carves everything. So they're made of wood and yeah, real mother of pearl, real lacquer, all that.
Really
Anyway.
nice shop.
Okay, it's a wonderful shop. Anyway, I'm really gonna go now. Okay, guys. Thank you all for joining us today. Bye everyone.